What's up everybody, welcome to Simon Says Ride. Welcome to this new video. Here is my new bike, but this video is about why did I sell my Royal Enfield. Well, let's get on the bike and talk about it. Okay, so it's been a while. I haven't made any videos. I have no clue if my GoPro is recording. I don't know if my external microphone works. I don't know if the angle is proper, but I'm still gonna give it a go. Man, this feels so weird. Moto vlogging after I think 2 years, or maybe a year. I'm not even sure. I didn't keep track of it. Was going through some pretty bad stuff in life and still going through, but just for a change, going out on the bike and trying to make a video out of it. Well, let's get back to the topic at hand. I posted a video about this bike, that buying a new bike and stuff. I think a couple of weeks ago I posted a video about it, but then everybody was curious to know why did I sell the Royal Enfield. Well, this is one of the reasons. The bike was, I think, 4 years old, the Royal Enfield which I was riding, and I really loved that bike. I still love the Royal Enfield Bullet. I'm still a fan. Okay, so but things changed. A lot of things in your life change when you grow old. Yes, I'm old, and the bike was not practical anymore. Right, I wasn't riding that much the way I used to maybe 4-5 years ago. Well, there were a few problems with the bike when it came to practicality. Now, I wouldn't say there were issues with the bike, but it was how you view it. Now, as I had told you in few videos where I kind of restored the bike, I was really very pissed with the suspension the way it was. So it was completely worn off, so I had to get new suspensions altogether. But still, that kind of didn't solve the problem. I used to get constant, hit the bumps pretty bad, and it was really tiring to ride that bike. I usually was using the bike for commuting. I wasn't taking it out for long rides like I used to do before, but I was majorly using the bike for commutes. And the state of our roads, I wouldn't say they are really bad like maybe they were a couple of years ago, but then still there are some patches like these which are really horrible. And especially after working 12 hours a day, when you're sitting in front of a computer, then you want to go back home on your motorbike, you really want that bike to be comfortable, right? So the Royal Enfield Bullet is not really made for comfort. Yes, the seats and everything are very comfortable, but the suspension is not that great. So that was it became really tiring to ride that bike home, especially after long day of work. It was become very challenging. So which kind of really, I was trying to make that bike better. I had plans for it. I thought I'll get some better suspension, but it wasn't only about suspension, it about the swing arm and everything. There are a lot of issues going on. So that was one of the primary reasons. Second, the Kickstarter. I mean, I was really a fan of it. I really wanted a bike which had a kickstart, which kind of had a retro feel to it. But man, that was really becoming a pain, especially when I used to keep trying not to stall the bike, but that's not always possible, right? Like you're stuck in traffic or somewhere, you want to turn off the bike, right? And like I know that I have to wait for a minute or two when you're at a traffic signals, but then I used to become so lazy, so I never used to turn off the bike. I used to leave the bike on and keep revving it so that it doesn't dies off, so that I don't have to kickstart the bike again. So thing that was really fun to me at the start kind of became a pain. So that's where like I thought, come on man, I should have get an electric start. So in fact I started inquiring about getting off-market electric starter, getting fit on the bike. So it's possible, it's not that it's not possible, but then it's not really 100% safe, and there's a lot of challenges with that, so didn't want to take that risk either. This was another issue with the bike. I was really tired with the loud exhaust, but for that definitely I had a solution. I got rid of the aftermarket loud exhausts, and I had saved my original exhaust which I got with the bike, so I went back to it, and that kind of solved that problem. Seriously man, the exhaust had become really very loud, and talking about roads, as you can see here, it's really horrible sometimes. It was very difficult to ride that bike on these kind of roads, and exhaust. And then finally the fourth pain point, the tires. Man, I got new tires, I got different type of tires. I tried a lot of things, but then that bike used to skid like crazy. I mean, when it was raining, I completely lost my confidence because I kind of skid a lot of times. The rear tire used to skid horribly. Front tire never used to skid, but thanks to that brakes. So as you guys know, it had drum brakes both in the front and the back, and the brakes was also a real pain point because you had to keep on adjusting them. Every couple of months, every 2-3 months, it was really very difficult to have them in the same state without tweaking them constantly, which again kind of it wasn't such a big deal. You can easily do it. I could do it at home as well. I learned how to do that, but then again having something that is not so much reliable kind of was again adding up to that questions whether I still should continue to use this bike. And again now, like I used to take my daughter out for a ride with proper helmets and stuff. She likes riding my bikes with me. So then again I wanted to be safer. I wanted the bike to be safer than the Royal Enfield which I was riding. So all these points kind of pushed me away from that bike. So I finally decided that I'll still own that bike and try to get a new one, something more practical. But again, owning two bikes is not a really practical decision. I had done that before. There was a time when I had two bikes, like the Royal Enfield and the KTM RC200, and at some point I also had KTM RC200 and the Gixxer together. So it was not a very practical decision to have two bikes, and it wasn't. I had tried that before, but it wasn't a good experience. So I thought I'll just get rid of the bike. I sold off that bike. I got some 95,000 rupees for that bike after 4 years, which is really good deal, because I got that bike from the store for like 1,20,000 I guess 4 or 5 years ago, and then I sold it for 95,000, which is a really good deal. And I just bought this bike. But yes, nevertheless I do miss that bike. I was a fan of that bike. I am a fan of that bike. Keeda zinda hai. Probably one day I might go back to a Royal Enfield, a much better one. Because I know that I love the Royal Enfields, but I want something practical too. I also plan to go buy a Royal Enfield itself, like probably a classic or a Meteor or something like that. But then I thought, no, let's take a break from Royal Enfield. Let's try something new. That's where I went to this bike. But overall, yes, I really like that bike. I still love that bike. Yes, there will be one day, probably someday, I might go back to it. But for now, there were a few things which kind of pushed me away from that bike. And for now, I think I am happy with the decision. Yes, I do miss the bike sometimes, but yes, that's life. Sometimes you have to get rid of things which doesn't make sense anymore. So that's some of the reasons why I sold that bike. I'm sure most of you won't agree with it. There were things which I could have done and made that bike better practically, and stuck to it, but already decision has been made, and bike is gone. Alright guys, that's it for this video. I don't want to get into that stuff. What's done is done, and let's look ahead in life and try to enjoy the new one. That's it for this video guys, and let me know if you like this video. Continue. I'll try to continue to make videos, and it's really difficult for me to get time and get out of the house and try to make videos, but I'll try to do that, and let's see how things go. That's it for this video guys. Hope to see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.